I was absolutely ecstatic to see Tesla actually bring the Cybertruck prototype to the Giga Texas factory construction site because, for one, it's been a while. We haven't seen it in a little bit. And, of course, it's just honorable that this will be where the Cybertruck itself is built. And it really got me thinking about the marketing strategy Tesla might employ for the Cybertruck program. And I know most of us are thinking Tesla doesn't need marketing. Cybertruck reservations are through the roof, and there's no need to advertise. Of course, that's not really what I'm suggesting here for any type of paid advertisements. No need. Tesla does not have a demand problem, but at the same time, I do love seeing what Rivian has been doing with the R1T, between being featured on the Long Way Up series with Ewan McGregor and showing that their vehicles and their prototypes can be used out in the wild. And yeah, they're not perfect. They've got some improvements to make on them, but just seeing some prototypes of the vehicles go cross-continent on these major road trips where they're getting dirty and they're getting used and they're being taken to their full capabilities, as well as Blue Origin using them out in the desert as they're testing their rockets, I think is just a very inspiring message to send of, hey, these trucks, they may not be out yet, but they are practical and we are going to start using them for our own needs. And that's what got me really excited about seeing the Cybertruck at Giga Texas, was finally seeing it in its natural element. Instead of having another render, another photo of it in this impossible to achieve lightning scenario where it just looks like it's from the future and it basically looks like it's part of a movie poster where it just looks like pure CGI, like there's no way this thing is real. Instead, now we're actually getting images of the Cybertruck in not a museum, but the mud, the dirt. It's kicking up alongside the exoskeleton. It's on a construction site where likely a lot of Cybertrucks will be used in the future, and frankly, I'm kind of surprised that Tesla wanted to transport the Cybertruck in the back of a covered trailer. At least I assume they did, because I don't think Tesla could have driven the Cybertruck from California to Texas without anybody noticing. It turns way too many heads, and the design is so iconic that someone would have spotted it if they decided to do a road trip with it. But honestly, I wish they would. I think it would make much more sense if they just decided to drive this place all around the country. In fact, a ways back, Elon Musk talked about making the Cybertruck do a cross-country road trip so lots of different people can see it. And I think that does great things for the brand. It makes the fans very excited for their reservations. And I've even seen some of you in the comment sections talk about how, well, I was gonna get a Cybertruck, but I decided I didn't want to wait anymore, so I just decided to get a Model 3 or a Model Y now because I'm too tired of not having a Tesla and I want to get one today. And that can kind of push back when people end up getting their Cybertrucks. But for maybe some people that were on the fence or undecided about whether or not they liked the Cybertruck or couldn't believe how it actually looked in person, seeing them on the roads and seeing them alongside other pickup trucks, or in the case of Giga Texas, seeing them get dirty and get in the mud, I think is quite inspiring. And there likely was a pretty big surge, especially from a lot of the construction workers at Giga Texas, in Cybertruck orders. They see it in person and realize, okay, the design is a little maybe off-putting at first, but it grows on them very quickly and they start to realize a lot of the benefits. And once they start feeling around it and touching it and realizing how durable it is and how practical it is, then they're like, holy crap, this has ruined all other pickup trucks for me. At least that's how it was in my case, to the point now where Cybertruck is dream vehicle territory simply because of how clean the interior is, how durable the exoskeleton is, how practical it is, and yet at the same time somehow so affordable. People start to really understand how game-changing of a product this is when they see it in person. And I don't think we need ads for the Cybertruck. I don't think Tesla needs to pay for any kind of advertising, but what I would love is if they just didn't put the prototype on such a pedestal where it only appears every once in a while. I genuinely would love it if Elon could just always be driving the Cybertruck around when he needs to drive, or leave the Cybertruck at Giga Texas and they can use it for transporting stuff or transporting people where they need to. Different construction workers or managers or whatever can take turns driving it around and getting their own experience with it, and people can just start getting accustomed to seeing this Cybertruck on a regular basis, so it's not like a once in a blue moon type thing. Hey, there's been another Cybertruck sighting. I want this to become a regular thing because I'm excited for the future when Giga Texas is operational and pumping out tons of Cybertrucks regularly, because it's such a weird, such an iconic design that seeing lots of them on the road will make them very impossible to ignore, and we'll probably get another wave of demand once people start realizing that the truck is no longer conceptual or in the prototype phase, but it's out, it's real, and it's getting work done, and the cost savings are real, the range is real, the practicality of the exoskeleton, all those great things can actually be achieved. It's most likely going to be next year by the looks of it. Elon, in response to someone asking about Cybertruck production, basically said limited limited Model Y production this year and then more of a ramp next year. Didn't want to specify about Cybertruck production, which I'm guessing that was somewhat intentional, but at the end of the day, I'm still all in favor of a Cybertruck cross-country road trip where people can meet up with it at superchargers and stuff. In fact, a supercharger recently went in with wider stalls that if you centered the Model 3 in these stalls, they couldn't even reach the charge cable. And only 4 of these stalls were extra wide compared to the 12 that were put in. So most people are believing those stalls are specifically for the Cybertruck, which means that at every other supercharger across the United States, the Cybertruck might have a hard time squeezing into each parking space and plugging in. But it's nice to see that Tesla is accounting for this now and actually building in some wider, very thick Cybertruck charge stations for people to plug into. Might as well start utilizing those. You got the prototype, and we know they can technically drive it on city streets. Elon has done it before, and even if you can't go cross-country, just take it around. Let people borrow it. Let Top Gear do videos with it as long as they don't fake that the range is lower than it actually is. And let's get this thing working. Let's show people how utility-focused this truck can be, and I also just love seeing the Cybertruck spotted among other regular pickup trucks. It makes them look so dated so quickly, so I'm hoping Tesla can do more of this moving forward, and hopefully maybe with pilot production at Fremont we can get a couple more Cybertrucks on the road so there's not just one, and those new pilot production Cybertrucks can be closer to the finalized design, the one that might be a tad smaller and with no door handles and maybe with side view mirrors, things that would actually make it street legal so you don't have to have a supervisor Tesla drive behind the Cybertruck at all times, which is what I believe they've done in the past when they drove on public streets. But I'd love to hear what you guys think of the Cybertruck marketing, whether or not you think Tesla should just go completely quiet for the foreseeable future, or would you like the prototype to be out and about getting spotted regularly and perhaps doing cross-country road trips and stopping at superchargers? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.